Our next presenter is Bill Brown. Bill Brown has been employed by Jonah Water since July of 2005. In June 2007, he was promoted to general manager. Bill has over 37 years' experience in the water and wastewater utility industry and has earned a Class A water operator license, Class A wastewater operator license, and a custom service inspector's license. Bill is also an approved water and wastewater instructor. Please welcome Bill Brown.
Thank y'all for coming and being a part of this. I've done management for several years, or some topic in management at the Public Drinking Water Conference. And this year, we've decided to do an overview. So I'm just going to hit a 20-hour management course. I'm just going to take some topics out of it and run through about 15 slides. So what is management? The definition says it's the act of coordinating the efforts of people to accomplish desired goals and objectives, using available resources effectively and efficiently. But I've got a different explanation. It's kind of like herding cats. You've got them all going in the right direction. Everybody's doing what they should be, and all of a sudden one takes off. You go to get that one, bring it back, you get back, and the whole herd's scattered. They're everywhere. But management is a full-time job when it comes to people. It just is. There's 5 functions of management. Those 5 functions are planning, organizing, staffing, leading, controlling. And of those 5 functions, planning is at the core. As a manager, and I'm not a planner, I'm just not. Ask anybody that knows me, my wife, I'm just not a planner. But as a manager, I have to take time and plan. Just by a show of hands, how many of you in this room came out of college, went into this industry, and was a manager? I know you're out there. There's a few of you. How many of you went to work at a plant, maintenance crew, whatever, and were promoted throughout and worked your way up from the bottom to the top? Myself included. I was one that when I wasn't in the office, I thought, man, I wish I could be in there. They don't do anything, and man, look at the money they make. They don't do nothing. We're out here busting our humps, sweating in the trenches. When I started, we didn't have AC and pickups, okay? But whatever. They don't do anything. Well, when I went to the dark side, I learned that just because you don't see me doesn't mean I'm not working. And when you get to go home at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock if you're at Jonah, unless you're on call, your phone doesn't ring. My phone doesn't stop. People that have my phone number call me at all times of the day, the night, weekends, holidays. Doesn't matter. Just because I'm not out physically doing stuff doesn't mean that I'm not working. And that's for every manager in this room or supervisor. Together, teamwork makes the dream work. And I know y'all know this, but most folks don't stop to think about, is their water safe to drink? Is my toilet going to flush? It's just part of everyday life, unless you can remember snowpocalypse of 21. February, Winter Storm Uri. It was tough, but other than that, people just don't think about it. The only time they think about us is when the water's not on or they can't flush their toilets. But we know what it takes. The training, the effort that goes into providing water that's safe and collecting and treating wastewater to make sure it can be returned into the environment in a safe manner, and it's safe for a downstream user But how good a job are we doing as an industry of promoting ourselves? You know, I sat in my office, and I don't see him in here. I think he's at the conference last week, and we talked, and he asked me the question, what are you folks doing about recruiting younger people? And we had a conversation. There's several committees. There's actual courses in schools now for the younger folks. But we have got to start doing a better job of promoting this industry. Are you one that if somebody asks you, where do you work, or what do you do for a living? Are you one that says, hey, you know, I'm a water professional. We make sure your drinking water is safe to drink. Make sure that your kids won't be harmed by having a glass of water. Or I work at a wastewater treatment plant, part of a great team. We're making sure that the water is being cleaned and returned to the environment for downstream users and for recreational use. Or are you someone that says, and then not in these words, but we've all, I think, can say we've heard this. Yeah, I'm working for the city right now, but man, I'm hoping something better comes along pretty soon. No. We have to be professional, and we have to promote ourselves. Be proud of what you do. So in the words of my father-in-law, that proverbial dog chasing the car, when you catch it, what are you going to do with it? So you've shown good work ethic. You've shown that you know what you're doing. You've proved to management that you're capable of doing a job, and they've promoted you to a supervisor. Congratulations. Now what you going to do with it? And what should you expect? You think you're going to get an office where you can go kick your feet up and do nothing because now you're on the dark side? You ain't outside no more, and now you just sit back and look out the window and do nothing. It's not all glitz and glamour. I promise you. You can wind up on 3 different blood pressure medications because of it. I know. I'm proof. If you don't understand what you're doing, if you're not prepared for the position, it's going to eat you up and you're not going to stay there very long. You have to be prepared and you have to understand. Communication. I'm not breaking new ground here, but communication will be your best friend. If you can teach yourself how important it is for those that you have been entrusted to lead and for the people whom you work, how important communication is to keep them informed of what's going on, the good and the bad. Don't hold back. That road for you is going to be a lot easier. When you try to start bottling stuff up, it's going to cause you issues. As a new supervisor, manager, sometimes some of us are afraid to make a decision. Anybody know anybody like that? Be decisive, right, wrong, or indifferent. Make a decision. Says the road is paved with flat squirrels that could not make a decision. Gary Cole said good decisions don't make life easy, but they do make it easier. Michael Caine said, do you know that the harder thing to do and the right thing to do are usually the same thing? Nothing that has meaning is ever easy. Roger Allen Wade in 2005 said in a song, if you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough. When it comes to problem solving, I hope that y'all don't ever have problems at work. Man, this summer, those of us that deal with the water side of this industry, the summers are always a stressor for us. And my office is not far from here, about 20 minutes north. And water in the summertime can get to be pretty scarce. And it can start causing a lot of stress when you can't keep water in tanks. But there's always 2 important things to remember. They happen all the time, and they're opportunities to improve the system. If you look at a problem as an opportunity to fix something or to come up with a solution, handling the problem at the time may well seem easier to deal with, especially if it's a long-term solution. None of y'all probably have ever faced a water shortage. It's probably just us, right? I was going to ask how many are you from Central Texas, but you're probably from all over the state and here and there, plus however many is online. We all know that water can be scarce. This summer's been great. There's been some bad things happen, but I don't know of anybody that's having real problems with water restrictions right now, and I think that's a blessing. I'm going to jump to leadership real quick. Colin Powell said leadership is solving problems. The day soldiers stop bringing you their problems is the day you've stopped leading them. They've either lost confidence that you can help or you concluded you do not care. Either case, it is a failure of leadership. There's a difference between a manager and a leader. There's a difference between a supervisor and a leader. Just because you're a manager or supervisor does not mean you are a leader. And if you're new to it, ask yourself this question. And I didn't come up with this, I stole it. If they took your title away from you today, would people still come to you seeking advice? If the answer is yes, you're a leader. If the answer is no, well, you're not. I want leaders. I want leaders at Jonah. I don't want just supervisors. I don't want people to sit in the truck and pound their fist and you'll do what I say, when I say, because I say. It's not what I want. You can demand respect all you want. That don't mean you're going to get it. You're going to earn it. To be a good leader, you got to be a motivator, and you have to keep people motivated. It's the art of getting people to do what you want them to do because they want to do it. Bob Nelson said an employee's motivation is a direct result of the sum of interactions with his or her manager. We're not given a good life or a bad life. We're given a life. It's up to us to make it good or bad. I hope we chose the good side. Before I got into management, the truth is I didn't know anything about budgets. I knew some basics and that was it. A budget's a financial plan for how an organization will receive and spend money for a set period of time. It also gives them the legal authority to do so. That next bullet point on that slide, that could have been in quotation marks and my name could have been by it. It's a new budget year, let's go spend money. New budget's here, let's roll. You'll never know how shocked I was to realize that there's not this big pot of money that magically gets filled on October the 1st. At Jonah, our fiscal year and calendar year are the same. Several years ago, I decided to get in line with the cities and insurance, health insurance, because health insurance, the way it's rated and set, it coincides with a October 1 fiscal year. So I went to the board, we went to an October 1 fiscal year. How many of you work for a SUD, a WSC in this room? Anybody? Then you know what I'm fixing to say. We're 100% rate driven. Municipalities and MUDs, to an extent, have taxing ability. For a special utility district, all the money that comes through that door is from a water bill. I don't have anything to subsidize. So you can imagine on October 1, we set a new budget. We go into it. My shortcoming was, when's your high use water months? They start in about May. They start picking up May, June, July, August, and into September, and they start weaning off. Well, I'm starting a new budget on October 1. I got to go October, November, December, January, February. I got 5 months of some of the lowest revenues of the year. We did that 2 years, and I said, we're done with this. We're going back to a January 1 budget. because there's not this big magical pot of money that appears on the first day of a new budget. Well, why can't I go get that new truck? Why can't I get my new backhoe? We're on the new budget. Right. There's a line item for it right here. But we haven't collected the revenue yet. Once the revenue's in the bank, then we'll go order it. Well, they're waiting until the end of the budget year in case they're short of funds, or in case they need to cut something. They're waiting to make sure that the revenue is there, and there's not going to be a budget shortfall. I'm telling you, I was that person. And I used to have hair. At one point in the 80s, I had a mullet. Not now. Blood pressure medicine and baldness. Thank you, management. If you don't take anything out of this, if you don't understand budgets, leave here knowing that they're not trying to pull one over on you, that the money has to be there first before they can spend it. Public relations. Perception is reality. That's the bottom line. How you're perceived, right, wrong, or indifferent, that's the reality you're dealing with. Does our appearance, does our vocabulary, our mannerisms show competence and professionalism? I grew up in the field. I know how things go. I know what's said. I'm guilty. But when we're in the public, we have to act, walk, talk professionally. It just has to be if we're going to get that respect that we're all looking for from the public. Are you sure that we dress professional, do our best? And I'm just going to go ahead and tell on myself, the gentleman that's been over works for me. I took the picture so I could use it in class. The building is a building that we bought. It's a water system that we purchased. We took that, they were using that as a pump house. We took it offline. By the way, the concrete it's sitting on was a swimming pool that was poured in 1912. Still standing, but we don't use it. The truck was a Jonah truck. There had been a car wreck. He got hit, and I went to take pictures of a totaled vehicle, and when I opened the door, I decided there needed to be another lesson. Now, the other one is a stock photo I stole. To the general public, you see that picture. To us, we may know that we're rotating in the hole. We may know why everybody is standing there. We may know the function that that person serves. But when somebody drives by in a vehicle and they see a bunch of people standing around doing nothing, that's all they see. For 5 bonus points, what's white and sleeps 3? A city truck. You can never stop with PR, ever. We struggle to get people to do stuff for the community, get people out to do community events. We love to do street dances and, go hang out in our booth and meet and greet people. And I even did a water tasting test 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and it was great. We put up our water against bottled water. There's a show, and I can't say it because we're videoing. Used to be on HBO. Penn and Teller, the comedians, starred in it. They have a show, and it was the BS show, but not abbreviated. Season 1, episode 5. The second part of episode 5, look up bottled water. It's awesome. But with that, don't stop with PR. Do not stop. And with social media, it is never going to stop. That is my email address and my cell phone number. By the way, during Snowbit, I put my cell phone number on Facebook. I've done a lot of dumb things in my life, but that was top 5, guaranteed. Thank y'all for sitting and listening to me.